Yay!
Yay, hi. I feel like we need to whisper because we're in the old age home.
The retirement home.
The retirement home.
In Nyasna, South Africa.
Yeah.
Somebody please comment. I'm going to switch to the comments. Let us know if you can hear us.
Someone that isn't me, because I am Evie Explored. So
Yeah. Let us know if you can hear us. This is dicey getting connected here. We're not on our normal computers.
Yeah.
See if you can see.
And it's very surprising that this is the place with the best Wi-Fi in all of Nyasna. Who would have thought? So Patrick is checking in case. We don't know how this is going to go. Yeah, we were more optimistic, I think, that there would be better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we're at an Airbnb and it says good Wi-Fi, which has a good Wi-Fi signal. The internet is not great.
Not good.
We're getting like barely 1 meg down and at good times.
Andy Ross can hear us. Yay!
And
success.
okay,
Thank
so
you.
I'll continue talking. But we're getting like a 0.5 megabits per second, megabytes per second up, which is pretty slow. Here we're getting 20 down, 20 up, which is the up is actually pretty good. So we're happy with that. But
oh, thank you guys.
We've been here since last Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday before last. I don't know. It's like a time
Sunday
warp.
before last. Yeah.
We left Friday morning from Denver. Flew to Atlanta, then took an overnight flight to Johannesburg. So we landed Saturday evening in Johannesburg.
And then there's only like 3 flights a day from Johannesburg to George. So then we had to stay overnight in Johannesburg and then fly to George the next day and then rent a car that was not at all an EV.
Yeah.
And drive to Nyasna.
So that'll be our first update. So we've been looking for EVs since we got here. The car that we rented is a Datsun, not a Nissan, a Datsun Go Plus. It's like a $13,000 car. Very underpowered. But it's 3-row seating, which is I'll have to take some video.
Oh, that's right. My gosh, I totally forgot. Sort of like the Tesla 7-seater.
We were going here, and the speed limit at most I think was 60 miles an hour, and the car struggled at times to hit 60 on some of the uphills and downhills. But we looked for some EVs. We've seen one EV.
And he almost like swerved in traffic.
And I was looking in my rearview mirrors because I was going to try to flip a U-turn real quick to follow it, but it was a Jaguar I-Pace. And we're going to do a whole video on EVs and charging situation.
And
in
wait,
South
how
Africa.
do we highlight a chat? Because we have a couple. I don't know. Do this thing. African Queen One Giselle is asking where we are. So in case you just joined us, we are in Nyasna, South Africa. And Racy was just Google Earth exploring Pretoria. So scooch that over down here. But that's random. A coincidence. That's awesome. Oh wow! And then the live chat popped up. That's crazy. Like,
so
kismet, you have to travel.
It's the one EV was the Jaguar I-Pace a couple of days ago. We have checked out a couple of chargers that are from Grid Cars, which is their charging network here, but it's also sponsored by Jaguar, so Jaguars get discounted charging. But that's it, and we'll go into that in great detail. It's very interesting, of course. Every time we come here, there's always neat little cars. Liv found a new car that's gas, but if they make it.
Was that the Swift?
The Suzuki.
The Suzuki Swift. There are so many adorable little petite cars here, and that one really stood out to me. The Suzuki Swift. Never see it in the U.S. Tiny little thing, adorable. But also, what was the one that I saw yesterday?
Oh no, this morning is.
Citroen. This morning. It was a Citroen. We'll show them in our video coming up. But I'm like car shopping for all these sweet little cars.
Yeah.
And you're probably missing our hunky Mach-E.
Yeah, I'm missing the Mach-E. But yeah, it's actually just like a completely different world looking at the EV situation here. Not a ton of chargers, not a ton of EVs. Now, one of the things, and I mentioned this in our previous live stream, they talk about how many chargers they have per EV driver. And that's because they have so few EVs. There's been like 700 EVs sold between 2013 and 2021. 700 total, all brands. And we'll go into why and stuff in our video. But we just wanted to update you guys. We're going to head back to the States. We just got a weird thing that our flight was canceled, but it's not canceled. And
Well, hopefully. Now we have 44 minutes to get from one flight to the other. So hopefully we'll be back in the States soon. If not, well, then we'll be in Atlanta. So that's
or something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's, we leave Saturday. It's actually interesting with the time difference and when we got to leave to get to the airport. So we're going to leave here the equivalent of like midnight on Friday in Denver. And then we travel all day Saturday, and our flight gets back to Denver to Atlanta Sunday morning, and then we fly to Denver and we get back to Denver at 2 p.m. So it'd be like midnight, or would say 1 a.m. Saturday morning till 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, it's really odd because it was such an extended journey, like a 3-day journey the other direction. And I think African Queen Giselle was asking, said she heard you can't ship a vehicle that's on the left side, but I think you can, because I think we saw
some people do, and I think there's higher taxes. Small fact, when I was in the Air Force stationed in England, I had my left-hand drive car shipped over. The military ships one over for you. So I had a left-hand drive Ford Probe in England. So that was, it's very difficult and not recommended. I think like in Australia, you have to label the car that you're on the wrong side of the...
With googly eyes or something, right?
No, it's like you have to label it. Here, I don't know. Boy, we're getting lots of good questions.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. I got
African Queen Giselle. That's a long name. Giselle said that they were going to visit, I think.
So it looks like CCS is used in the US and here, except in the CCS, we use type 1. Here, there's type 2. So if you do import an EV with CCS charging, you have to have it adapted. If you bring in one from Europe, they're on CCS2 as well. And another fact, Teslas in Europe are sold with CCS type 2. So
sweet,
they can use the charging system down here, even though there's no Tesla superchargers down here. And there is a Model X, at least one Model X in the country, because we saw it on PlugShare at the photo at one of the charging stations that we were at. And even they don't use J1772. They use something called a Type 2 plug, which is like a new updated version. So yeah, there's slight differences, but sort of the same or close enough.
And your Ford Probe was a classic. Wasn't it the same color as my hair, by the way?
Somewhat. It was Calypso green. It was similar to that a bit. Yeah, I had a 92 Ford Probe. It was the LX, so it had the V6 engine from the TARS mounted transversely, sideways, transversely, yes. And it was a great car. 215,000 miles, 16 years. Front door just opened.
We are literally in the lobby, and my Gran is having dinner right now. 5:30 p.m. They're having dinner, and the people who work here, we don't want to embarrass them by putting them on camera, even though they should come on camera. There is a Mach-E, right?
We're just going to keep highlighting Giselle's questions. Yeah. So I was researching to find out, because over a year and a half ago, I saw a post from Ford South Africa that showed a Mach-E here in South Africa. It was the Chapman's Peak Drive.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Famous road, beautiful road. It was on
right
that
on
road.
The coast.
So I was curious, like, are there any Mach-Es here in South Africa? Ford has not officially imported any, but I did see there's a YouTube video with a Mach-E in Cape Town. And then apparently somebody brought a Mach-E Select and brought it over here, and it hit the used market. And I think it was like $140,000 on the used market here. So,
and that video is really cute on YouTube, because they were like staging the drive. So they all drive down the street and then they stop, and then everyone reverses slowly. So it's kind of fun. I'm actually originally from South Africa. I moved to America after high school. And so we've been back 3 times, me and Patrick together. This is our 3rd time. But this is our first time back as electric car owners. So it's kind of a different mentality. And it's been an interesting opportunity to talk with people about this. And
in previous trips, we've visited Johannesburg, where her Gran used to live, and Cape Town, where she was born. This time, we basically just stayed one night in Johannesburg, came straight here to Knysna, and have been here
ever since. RX B8, we do not have enough money, YouTube money to. I mean, we could buy a Coke in first class, and that's about it. But we could not buy an airplane ticket.
No.
With YouTube
this was all about we would do whatever it takes to visit. Liv's Gran turned 100 on January 1st. We were supposed to come then, but because of the COVID spike, we did not.
Yeah.
But we were going to do whatever it took to come visit her Gran, 100 years old.
And we've literally been here with her from like 9 a.m. to dinner time, and then for like almost 2 weeks now, and it's been really awesome, really, really amazing. Super happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been great. We get here at like 9:30 in the morning, hang out. Sometimes a couple of times we went to lunch. Sometimes we took her Gran to lunch.
Yeah, which at 100 is quite an experience.
Yeah.
But don't blame her.
Yeah, she's pretty much confined to the wheelchair, so we do our best to help her. And Liv's aunt has been great in helping and driving. And
actually, my aunt, they have a Volvo. Is it an XC40? So we've been talking with them about XC60. Talking with them about potentially like switching to EVs. So we're trying to spread it here. I just realized that we haven't tried to explain to my Gran about EVs, which would be interesting. Like interesting. Maybe we'll give that a try.
Maybe we'll film that.
I think she'll just be like,
yeah,
okay.
So this is a good one.
Ooh, what's this one? Oh, is it?
So is Liv's accent? I think it does come back a little bit. There's some more yas and the words that end in R. What?
Oh yeah, we don't say Oz.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't say Oz.
You sound Australian.
Oz.
Oz.
Yeah, I think it's definitely coming back, and it's understandable. When I go to the south, because I'm from North Carolina, mine reemerges when I get there.
It does. Say cement. Knysna looks very pretty. It is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, Andy.
And then I think if you shipped a European Mach-E down here, you would be fine, and that would probably be preferable because the UK Mach-Es are right-hand drive. So you could ship a right-hand drive Mach-E from the UK down here, and the charging would work.
And there's CCS2.
There's CCS2 as well.
So that would be nice. Where did the one that is here come from? The UK?
The one that is here, I did not look to see if it's a left-hand or right-hand drive or anything like that. But and the publicity ones were obviously brought over by Ford, and they had their own connections.
And Larry says the Probe was originally designed to be the next gen Mustang.
Yeah, back in the late 80s, Ford was trying to get rid of the Fox body Mustang, and they designed the Probe, and it was going to be front-wheel drive, Japanese-ish, like Asian-influenced sports car, and everybody had a fit, and they're like, you can't make a Mustang. So which is, maybe that's
not a Mustang.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't mind the Mach-E, is because I went through that with like, oh, that's not a Mustang, and I was like, I wouldn't have cared. Although I tried to buy a Mustang, ended up with the Probe because I couldn't afford the insurance on the Mustang.
So RXB8, was that it, is asking how the crime is here. It's very bad. We are in Knysna, which is more chill. But it's been interesting because normally when we're in America and we do road trips or whatever, I'm filming Patrick, we're filming the road, you have your phone out there. You don't do that here. You don't have your phone out. So it's been really interesting. Like I'll try catch Patrick and I'll wait until we're speeding down the road, no one's there, and then catch him, get a good view of the scenery and everything, and then you hide your phone. Like you don't have your bag visible or anything because people smash your car while you're driving.
It's definitely better here. The first time we came to visit, we visited Johannesburg. We visited her Gran in a retirement home, and we had to drive about 1.5 miles back to the hotel.
Not far.
And we left right after it turned dark, and we were on our way back to the hotel, and we saw just a group of guys on the side of the road. And then right before we got there, they threw a bottle in front of the road, and it shattered. And I just like,
he swerved super fast, and we were like,
Yeah.
And then we just drove the rest of the way with our eyes like wide open, like hyperventilating, and we're like not
Because they do
anymore.
that so that you'll slow down or stop, and they can stop your car and hijack you, or carjack you. So that's yeah, it's a bit of a difference. Like when we were even in like Cape Town, and we want to take a photo of the sunset. It's like one of us takes a photo and the other stands looking around to make sure nobody's coming.
I mean, it is also because we look like tourists. Like my accent may be coming back, but I still think I sound American enough to be touristy. And standing around with the camera is very touristy. But we're used to sticking GoPros on the car and being really obvious, and I don't think we'd feel comfortable doing that here.
No, and again, it's sort of, we were sort of talking about this. It's sort of like with COVID as well. I don't want to catch COVID in the States. I don't want to get robbed in the States. But if somebody steals my wallet, when I'm home, I just call up the bank and I get everything sent to me and I'm good. If we got robbed here, it would make things very difficult for paying stuff, getting, all of that, and it is dangerous. And
Rodman said we should take my Gran for a ride in the EV. Oh my gosh, that would be the best thing ever. I mean, she has a hard time getting in and out of cars and all that, but I feel like, especially the Mach-E, it's a good height and it's so smooth. Yeah, I think she'd actually like it.
Yeah.
She'd be tripped out that it's so quiet.
We have been talking to people about EVs just to sort of get a feel for what people think of them, and it really isn't given much thought here. And there are a number of reasons for that. I think they could be very successful here, but right now EVs are just so expensive here. There's no incentives, and in fact, they're taxed higher than gas cars. So it's not even that there's resistance to EVs. It's just that, would you buy an EV if you didn't get the $7,500 tax credit? And in fact, we're taxed more for having an EV, and I'm talking about significantly more.
It's just so exclusive. Then it's only rich people who can do it. And hi, Eric.
Hey, Eric. He's one of our Patreons.
And so is Andy, by the way.
Oh yeah, and Andy. Yeah, that's right.
Should we be shouting out patrons? I hope you guys don't mind. But like, thank you. Very, very big thank you to patrons.
I'm gonna hit pause on this so that we don't
lose
all our bandwidth. So, so we got a couple of patrons on here. We started a Patreon page and been overwhelmed with the response. But we said we were going to get some little doohickey trinkets to send. Yeah. So we've been shopping here, and we may have something really cool that we're going to send to
for our unbridled
patrons.
We found someone who might be making something right now. We hope they're making something. We'll be picking it up.
If not, you might get a sticker.
Yeah, or something really amazing, or a sticker. But so that's our unbridled patrons. Thank you. Hi from Miami. Hello. And what did Giselle say? Oh, thank you. We make them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Liv drew both of these.
I did.
And they're I think if you go to Mach-E vlog, machevlog.com/links, there's t-shirts links on there. Yeah. Or if you go to Redbubble and search for Mach-E. Redbubble.com.
We're probably there.
Yeah, we show up.
Yeah, I felt sunny today. And my Gran sees bright colors really well. I've learned that at 100, you don't see bright super well. So I wore something bright yesterday, and she was really excited about it. So I wore something bright today. Oh, Jace, it's super beautiful here. Ooh. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This is the one I wanted to highlight first. Yeah, good to see you on here. Yeah, it is beautiful. We haven't done as much tourist stuff. There's boat rides and cruises and hikes and the elephant park. And her Gran wanted to go to the elephant park, but it's very hard to do all of that stuff. But
why did we get my Gran a t-shirt?
Oh,
that would have been
she so probably cute. Wouldn't wear a t-shirt though.
I could bring her one of mine. Or yours.
Hoodie. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. That would be adorable. No, we're not going to go see a rugby game. There's actually rugby near us in Colorado, which we should go see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not doing much touristy stuff at all because we're here mostly from morning to evening, but we've been dining a lot in the evening.
Yeah. So very good seafood as you would expect.
Exercising when we get home.
Yeah. And lots of chocolates from.
Oh, thank you, Eric. That's so sweet. And Giselle, I think she would love it too. Especially, honestly, this one, like a colorful one.
Yeah.
Well, we get home and then my mom comes, so we should give her a shirt really quickly.
Yeah.
Or I'll leave her something. I don't know.
Or I think there's Red
That
Rebel
is
ship over
something.
here because they ship to the
Maybe.
UK.
Let's have a look.
We'll have to
That'd
check
be really
that out.
sweet. That's a really sweet idea. I love that.
Yeah, so it's been a fun trip. We're ready to get back.
Yeah.
Have large coffees. Coffee's really good here, but
it's phenomenal.
Really small. I want a big coffee.
We're all pampered.
And we've been trying to stay up on the EV news. Of course, for the Mach-E, I think the things that I'm excited to test out as soon as I get back is one, with Apple Maps via CarPlay in the Mach-E with the latest software updates on the Mach-E and iPhone. It'll do EV route planning, which means it knows what state your battery's in and will route you to the chargers on your routes if necessary. So I'm excited to test that out. Hopefully I can. And then, of course, Blue Cruise is starting to roll out to people. And I've heard that by the time I get back, mine should be not ready for Blue Cruise, but ready for the updates to get Blue Cruise. So if that's the case, it's like 6 mini updates. So it'll take a few days. By the end of the week, maybe I'll get the Blue Cruise.
And then once you're at 2.5.2, then we're good.
Yeah,
right?
We're at 2.4.1. Update 2.4.2 is on hold. Apparently that's been released now. So as soon as we get back, we should get that one. And then there's, I think, a total of 6 updates. And then we'll be on 2.5.2. And that's when Blue Cruise magically turns on. So hopefully by the next weekend, we will, which would be the first weekend in March, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And no.
Something like that.
No. April. You missed a month there. And Eric.
April, yeah.
Got his GT with Blue Cruise.
Yeah. We tested on a GT or 2 GTs when we were in California and loved Blue Cruise. I mean it's great it'll be great for road trips, but I want to do a full video testing it out and showing everybody. So.
And I think we missed something Giselle said just above. Yeah. So we will be releasing a video of the charging situation here in South Africa. We did film some stuff and track down 2 charges. I think that's probably as much as we're going to track down, but we will have a video coming out soon. Yeah. After this.
It takes us a while to edit, but
yeah.
Let's see here. I wanted to highlight this one because we did not drive Lucifer to DIA. When we first got Lucifer, we drove out to see Lucifer.
Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't from Denver or don't know, there's a blue horse statue at the entrance to the airport. It's a blue Mustang. It's actually, the official name is Blue Mustang, but we all call it Lucifer, which is why we named the car
red
Lucifer.
Eyes, looks crazy.
So anyways, we drove and did that, but we didn't drive Lucifer. I have to give a shout out to Joel and Natalie, who are our good friends now that we've gotten to know over the past few months. But we actually met them the craziest way. When, long story short, we had a Mach-E being delivered to us because of the accident with our Mach-E, and it was being rolled off of the truck. And as it was being rolled off the truck, this Corvette passes. Guy hops out and says, "Hey, I know you guys from your YouTube channel." Ends up being Joel. We chat with him for a little bit.
Now we're great friends.
Now we're great friends with him and his wife. And they gave us a ride to the airport early in the morning, Friday morning, with coffee and croissants.
And I know they're not super into social media, so I wonder if we just terribly embarrassed them by shouting them out. So we love you guys. Thank you.
But yeah, that was really awesome and just really cool. Like, that was the first time we got recognized because we were on YouTube. And it was just like this amazing experience. And then really, really good people. So
which is consistently shocking, by the way. Like, I can't believe you guys are here. It's so awesome that we have this amazing community around this amazing car, and we're all psyched about it. And it's awesome. It's really, truly awesome.
Good question here. Would we buy a Tesla? We have a couple of videos if you haven't seen. We test drove a Model Y, and then we had a Model Y for 4 days. We didn't like it. It's a great, fantastic car. Autopilot is awesome. The acceleration is awesome. There's some things that don't check all the boxes for me. not having a driver screen. The door handles are hard for Liv because she has dexterity issues from her injuries. So some little things like that aren't a deal breaker for most people and aren't really a deal breaker for us. It's just that we had the option of the Mach-E. But
I mean, I think I would potentially buy a Tesla. I'd potentially buy a lot of cars, but I'm not a fan of proprietary stuff. So, for example, I particularly like the Mini Cooper SE, but I don't like that they don't do Android Auto. They only do Apple CarPlay. So that's sort of excluding a portion of the market, and I don't want that vehicle because of that, but I really do. You know what I mean? So, like, if Tesla was CCS, I might be more inclined. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, and I miss Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I like having that. And I know that the Tesla system I would probably get used to, but I would miss, because I use YouTube Music because I do YouTube stuff. So, relatively minor things. I love driving. I've driven one since then as well. Drove a Model Y Performance, love that. And to be honest, if we were looking just to replace my old WRX, the Model 3 would have probably been a top choice because there aren't really there's really nothing that competes with the Model 3 because it's a sedan.
The Polestar.
Polestar is a bit bigger though, I think. So
true. Aaron says his Mach-E is going into production in less than a week, which is awesome. Yeah. Congratulations. That's amazing. Rebecca doesn't have Blue Cruise yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, so if they had a battery electric WRX, and it's sort of like the reason why I didn't buy the Model 3 is like now I want that small SUV body style instead of a sedan.
I like an SUV. You did love that speedy, grippy.
But on a related note, Ford of Europe announced they're coming up with 3 battery electric models by 2024. 2 are going to be on the VW MEB platform. I forget what that stands for, but it's not. It's like
Major Electric. Nope, I'm not guessing.
Second kit. Yeah, I forget. But anyways, 2 of them will be on that platform, but one is going to be the next generation Ford Puma, which is sort of like Liv's ideal mini SUV.
Yes. It's like the little mini Mach-E. I would love it. Also, they've committed to an all-electric lineup by 2030, right?
In Europe.
Yes. In Europe, Ford Europe.
And we're going to cover some of that like as well a little bit in the. Did you hear the birds outside? That was cool. I don't know if you heard that.
They're crazy birds here. It's awesome.
Why Ford isn't globally going battery electric by 2030 because there's issues like South Africa.
Yeah.
And this is actually exciting because Reese is going to potentially have her Mach-E within the next week or so. So that's exciting. I know how hard it is to wait. I'm curious how long you've been waiting. She test drove a year ago. So it takes a while. Make sure, as with any new car, go over it with a fine-tooth comb when you get it. Ours didn't have any issues except the badging on the door was loose when we picked our car up. But other than that, everything was perfect with it. But check underneath. One guy had at some point they bent something underneath. It wasn't the battery cover, but it was like a rail. So he found that when he picked his car up. Go over it with a fine-tooth comb and insist that you get to test drive it before you do any financial paperwork on that sucker. But hopefully you enjoy it. Join mach-e.org, mach-e.org.
And as a side note,
photos.
So that's a website that Patrick set up so that you can gather and have groups. I have an answer for that, of course. So you can have local groups of other Mach-E owners. For example, we have one in Colorado, and Eric, I hope you come to the next one. We have a really awesome, we've done 2 gatherings and they've been amazing. And was it Eric who asked about the favorite food?
Yes, I was going to highlight that.
It's Biltong. It is not Biltong. It is Biltong, which is like jerky, but much better. And never call it jerky or South Africans will get mad at you. And it's delicious.
It's a dehydrated meat, usually beef. But the primary ingredients, it's vinegar and coriander, and then some other spices. And it's not dehydrated usually so much that it's like real tough like jerky. It's usually a little bit softer and chewier, and they don't use a ton of heat.
And no sugar.
And
so
we
it's just,
and actually you're in Littleton, so maybe for the next Mach-E meetup, we'll make some and bring it. There's also peri peri chicken.
Delicious.
Which is a Portuguese spicy chicken. We have
there's a restaurant called Nando's that does it, and they are in DC as well. Yeah. So if you're in DC, you should try it.
And by the way, speaking of a Grabber Blue non-first edition, my brother ordered a Mach-E, and he's getting a Grabber Blue Select. He just ordered it right before we left, and it's sort of crazy because he was the one when I got my Mach-E was telling me like how EVs are useless. They take too much time to charge. They're bad for the environment, or they're worse for the environment than gas cars. Like all of this stuff. And now he's ordered a Grabber Blue Select. So we're excited for him. And hopefully, if things work out, maybe we'll drive out there when he gets his and we can do a video. And
I think we should.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. North Carolina. He's in North Carolina. We're in Colorado. So.
Congratulations, Phone Tech, on your all-wheel drive. You just got it. Yeah. Oh, Aaron, Nando's is the best. So I'm totally responding to someone else's comment.
I'm trying to catch up.
But it's important. Nando's is so good.
Nando's is really good. So it's roasted chicken, basically, with a spicy
peri-peri.
Tomato and vinegar based. I think it's vinegar in there.
Oh, definitely vinegar. I didn't know tomato.
Well, yeah.
It's delicious.
It's really good. And then they have the side.
Like here it's millipap, which is like a maize meal.
Cornmeal.
Do they not call it maize?
We say cornmeal.
Hey. Okay.
Which is really good. And then the other thing that I know, I'm speaking for her because I'm enjoying all of this stuff. But calamari here many, many times is grilled, not fried, and it's super, super good. So we've been eating a lot of calamari.
We've been eating a lot here.
And here's a question about the Job 2 Mach-E's getting the faster charging after 80%. So if you don't know what, basically Ford calls it Job 1. Those were made before June 21st of last year. And then after that, they're Job 2 2021s. The Job 1s, like mine, we were eligible to get a update to the software. So after 80%, it charges at 43 kilowatts instead of 11. Big difference. And I still haven't heard when that's going to come to Job 2 or 2022s. But I would assume that one of these over-the-air updates, and my guess, and I could be completely wrong, is after they get this big Blue Cruise update pushed out, then they will do stuff like the charging curve. Those type of updates will start coming quicker and more frequently. But right now, everybody's dying to get Blue Cruise. So,
like us. Oh, they have Nando's in New Zealand. Well, then we have to visit. We have to go.
We could go to DC too.
Also New Zealand, though.
I would love to visit New Zealand.
Me too.
But we spent a lot of our budget to come here. We were here in 2018 and 2016.
And I think we would have. Well, we were waiting to come for my Gran's 100th birthday, but Omicron. But we're here now, so definitely worth it. Once we get back, we are in Colorado for a little bit. We're going to be volunteering at a bunch of EV events for Earth Month. And
so if you look up Drive Electric Earth Day, you can find events in your area. There's several in Colorado. We're trying to hit those. There's in California, Ohio.
Super fun.
So I would recommend trying those out. And then hopefully, I think everything's lined up. We're going to try to go to the New York Auto Show.
New York Auto Show. That'll be super fun.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any big new announcements. I just saw they tweeted today about the F-150 Lightning being there because it's been in the news with the EPA range. Ford had a target EPA range that's now been confirmed by the EPA. The base model is going to get 230 miles on one charge, up to 320 for the higher end model. And then there's some other variations that get 280, 300. So, but anyways, 230 was at the base. up to 300 was their target, and they got 230 at the base, up to 320. So that's pretty cool. There were some rumors that maybe that was carrying a load in the back. I don't know if that's true or not. Haven't seen any confirmation that it's anything other than like a normal EPA range test. So who knows? But 320 is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good enough for the type of person that's going to be, like hauling horse trailers around or something like that. Probably not good enough for them. Maybe it will be. I don't know. But it's going to satisfy a lot of people that have orders in and that understand the limitations. It's not a 600 mile per tank gas powered F-150. It's a 320 mile per charge. So if it works for them, they're great. So
Aaron says he'll hook us up if we get to New Zealand. So this is sounding like our next trip. I'm just saying.
And speak of the devil, that's my brother.
No way.
He says, "Is your brother getting a Mach-E?" That's him. I just outed him, but yeah, he's the one getting the Grabber Blue Select rear-wheel drive.
And we are gonna come road trip for when.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah, he had a great idea of like I could come out there when he gets it and then show him all the like how to set it up or anything like that. Which he's tech savvy, so he'll get it.
We have all the accessory recommendations.
But it'll be fun.
Too.
Yeah, actually.
Happy birthday.
We could bring some accessories with us.
Birthday, Christmas, done.
So, but yeah, it's I'm excited for him. I think he's going to love it, and he won't have some of the issues that we will have having an EV in the cold climate of Colorado.
Yeah.
So North Carolina, his range should be pretty good. And
envious.
Yeah.
We're
not highlighting that next comment, but yeah. I'm sure my brother has lots of stories. All of my brothers. I have 3 brothers, no sisters. I'm sure they all have stories they could.
Very naughty. Very naughty. A phone tech had Blue Cruise off the lot.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's great.
Yeah, it's sort of trippy that they, like you would think that we had a first edition that, like when the GT started being shipped and that later models started being shipped with Blue Cruise, that they couldn't just push the update to us. From what I understand, it's basically because it's such a complex system to do over-the-air updates, and Ford, the way that they're doing the systems in the Mach-E is that there's, in the teens, I think it's like 16 different modules or something like that. All of them are updatable, but they were sort of basically going through a verification process of testing out the entire system, of making sure that they're all doing well with the updates. And, some things, like if you're updating just a sync software that runs your entertainment, who cares? If something happens with that, it'll reset and, go back to the previous version. They've been, I think, more worried about updating things like the battery management system or something like Blue Cruise. So they've been, from what I understand, is sort of like verifying that everything is working. And I think one of the previous times when people thought they were getting close to doing Blue Cruise, Tesla had that thing that they pushed out, ran into some issues, and then they had to roll back the update, and it was a little bit of a hoopla about that. And I think Ford probably was wise in, if this is like their first big over-the-air update, don't screw it up, because that'll be in the news. And that's the good and bad of having the Mustang name on the Mach-E, is that when things are good, you get all the publicity, but if you screw something up, you're going to get a lot of publicity as well. So
yeah, so we're being forced to be patient. Eric sounds like he might be heading out. Thank you so much. We will hug my grandma. And good to see you at the next event.
Yeah.
We will try have a Mach-E event in Colorado, like another gathering.
GTs.
Yeah, and he's got one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're excited to have a GT at the event.
Hi, Lori. And hi, Makashi.
Oh, yay. Lori's been with us for months and months.
From the beginning.
We always get comments from Lori, and it always makes us smile. And she's been great. And one of these days we'll get to say hello in person, I hope. And then Rick, we've been talking a little bit. We're going to do a video on the EV community here in South Africa. Quick summary that we've talked about a little bit so far previously in the live stream. Not much of a charging network, not many EVs, 700 EVs sold in South Africa from 2013 to 2021. So very few. I've seen one EV and that's it.
Your brother's asking about blinkers. Thank you, Makashi.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and so the way intelligent cruise control or Blue Cruise works in the Mach-E is when you change lanes, you turn your blinker on, it not disengages, but it sort of knows that you're changing lanes, and then you turn your blinker off once you make the lane change, and then it turns back or activates in the new lane. But if you don't use blinkers, like in some places like North Carolina, where they don't use their blinkers,
pet peeve.
The other thing you can do is you can just make the lane change, and the only difference is that it will fight you a little bit and will think that you're disengaging it, and then when you get back into the lane, it'll look for the lane and it'll recenter. So it'll still work, but you'll just feel it's almost like if you're riding in grooves. If you don't use your blinker, you sort of have to like hop out of the groove. That's what it feels like with the Blue Cruise or lane centering turned on. So it'll still work. It won't be that big of a deal. And apparently it's been mentioned that it is possible that at some point in the future that if you turn your blinker on, Blue Cruise will make the lane change for you, maybe in an update. So I don't know. We'll see if they ever get to that point.
Mokashi has questions. They have a Mach-E premium board on April 2nd. Does that count as a job one?
That one?
Yes.
April 2nd of last year would definitely be job one. Job one is up until June. And if you bought it with Blue Cruise, you should get it when it gets rolled out. And they're doing, I think the first year is going to be free, and then after that, I think it might be $200 a year, something like that. Originally, they were saying it was going to be $600 for 3 years, but now we're already to the point where if somebody's doing a 3-year lease, you're 2 years into it. You wouldn't want to do a 3-year package. So I'm not sure how they're going to roll that out, but I think they're going to do for everybody with job one, you're going to get it for the first year for free, and then they'll figure something out.
And like Rick said, it's going to be an over-the-air update.
Yeah, it's going to be an over-the-air update. You don't have to do anything other than make sure you have updates turned on. So if you're getting other software updates, now one of the things I heard about how to get it sooner. First of all, turn on updates and tell it that you want it to update every single day. And if you can, pick like a non-standard time, because everybody's going to pick probably like 11 p.m. So if you pick 11 p.m., they only have a certain capacity to update a certain number of cars at 11 p.m. on any given night. But if you pick 3:33 in the afternoon, probably not many people are updating their car. And you do need to know that for a couple of the updates, it will make your car so you can't drive it for, I believe, up to an hour while it's doing the update. So you don't want to pick a time, like if you have to go pick your kids up at school at 4, don't set it for 3:33. But if you're like us and we're working during the day, 3:33 wouldn't be that big of a deal.
In case of an emergency.
Or you could pick, We got to go.
Don't drive on your flat tire, ammo truth.
Yeah, if your tire's flat,
don't drive.
Call an Uber.
There, yeah, or
right.
a Lyft.
We got to go. No connection.
Thank you guys so much for joining us in South Africa. We'll see you in the States. Bye.